to talk about this week, sort of. Never mind me while I'm picking my ear out. It's the hair. The hair gets in there. It's like, So anyway, like I said, it's August 8th, and decided to do this week's video log again from Kirby Park. It's a nice place. Now that I'm not being bitten up by horseflies, because that was a big one, and it just kept coming back for more. I don't know what the deal was. Just likes my legs, I guess. Tasty. So, last we spoke, it was Thursday. The next day would be Friday. And that meant PrideFest. So, Saturday morning, my girlfriend and I got up and we went to a friend of hers who does eyebrows, and got me eyebrows did. So that's nice. While we were out, we went up to Scranton and just on a lark, just totally went to this Goodwill, and right there, right in front of the store, was a 10-speed or a 12-speed, I can't remember, but it was like, you know, vintage kabuki. It was in excellent condition, considering the fact that it's, you know, probably 30-something years old. And so, of course, you know, my girlfriend's been looking for one of these for a long time now, and finally got it. It was only $40. So she bought it. She brought it home, but, you know, started fixing up. More on that later. After that, we being attacked by bugs again. So at 6 o'clock, PrideFest starts. I was really looking forward to this year because it was going to be at Montage Mountain. It's a water park. The lazy river was going to be open. I was really looking forward to that. The slides were going to be open. The zip line was going to be open. There was going to be a lot of fun on top of the stuff that there's already there to do. But unfortunately, it was a little chilly because it was overcast all day. It was, you know, I don't know what the temperatures were, like lower 70s somewhere. I don't know, but it was it's kind of a disappointment because we, you know, wanted to go swimming. I ended up ultimately not getting a bathing suit because I don't know, it just wasn't, my confidence level wasn't there yet. But didn't get to go swimming, which was fine. Still had a really good time. A couple of bands were there. A lot of my friends were there from the trans group. A lot of other people that I've known that I've been working with as far as you know, my volunteering efforts, just all that stuff in general. Just a lot of different people were there, and we had a really good time. So then, of course, at the end, you know, we sat down, we had some dinner with friends of ours, got to sit by these fire pits. That was a lot of fun because it was, like I said, it was pretty chilly, and then it was dark, so it was a really nice experience to get to sit around these fire pits and just enjoy the evening. So following that, we went up to the parking lot area and let off. This was Beth Hartman's idea. She wanted to launch Chinese lanterns. Is that PC? Like floating lanterns, and you know, we got a couple of them off the ground, and they went straight up, you know, straight up and away, and it was really cool to watch them go. It was a very heartfelt moment. Unfortunately, some of them kind of got caught in trees and set on fire. Fortunately, they went out. The trees were unharmed. No harm done. But it was kind of sketchy for a little bit there. Other than that, it was a blast. We had a really good time. So, this Saturday was 1940s weekend up at Eckley Miners Village, which is right outside of Freeland. I was really looking forward to this. I like to get a little bit of like pin-up-y kind of dress, just like a 1940s girl, and go, and that's a lot of fun. You get to walk around Eckley. There's a lot of reenactors. There's a lot of people who like recreate that experience of what it was like to live in the 1940s, and just basically, you know, play time traveler for a weekend, which is really cool. Unfortunately, it was kind of expensive. It was, you know, currently unemployed, and we're trying to save a lot of money. So $10 to get in was kind of expensive for each of us. So we decided, not to do that. And unfortunately, from what I understand, it was kind of a waste. Like, not that it was a waste, but there was just like not as much there as there was last year, because a lot of the reenactors didn't show up. Last year it was packed. There was people everywhere. There were all kind of events and things going on. And this year, I guess it was just kind of so-so, which is really sad, because I look forward to this all summer. But, hey, it is what it is. But since we decided not to go into Eckley, we went to get something to eat, and we ended up, we went to my favorite restaurant, which is a 5-star Chinese restaurant. It's in Hazleton. It's a really good place to eat. I spent about 20 years or so in Hazleton, working on plans to get out of Hazleton, and I get kind of nervous about going back there, because I wasn't exactly treated well as a kid, and, you know, the whole being trans thing. And we went to the mall, and we were walking around. We had to pee really bad, so of course, what did we do? We went into the ladies' room. We're women, we're ladies. So we walk in, there's about 4 girls in there, and 2 of them are just like standing around, wasting time, and then there's these 2 other younger girls who are there doing the same thing. They're like splashing in the sinks and making a mess, and we need to use the bathroom, so we're trying to wait for them to get out. Unfortunately, the longer we stood there, the more of a target we became, and I guess a couple of the girls in Spanish went outside and told their boyfriend, or they were making fun of us or something. I'm not sure, because I didn't understand, but we're sitting, and we finally went into the stall, and we're sitting there, and we hear some guy basically poke his head in and yell, "Hey fellas, these bathrooms aren't transgender yet." And then he left. Like, you know, I finished doing my thing, washed my hands, and my heart was shaking, my heart was pounding, the adrenaline was really flowing, and I was like, oh God, here we go, I'm gonna have to deal with this. So the 2 of us just kind of like took a deep breath and relaxed, opened the door, and expected to see, you know, our response to that was totally going to be on, you know, how many guys there were, and what they wanted to do to us. Fortunately, this guy left. Of course he left, right? You know, he just wanted to get his dig in. He just wanted to say something insulting to us and then leave. Of course, a cisgendered man is going to harass women in the bathroom, as opposed to transgendered women who just want to pee. You know, I hate the phrase "it is what it is," but, you know, it is what it is. And it's just kind of like the world we live in. We get harassed, depending on where we go. The sad part is, this is the first time, the only time this has ever happened to me, is in a bathroom in Hazleton. You know, I get left alone for the most part, depending on, you know, I've been to Pittsburgh, I've been to New York, I've been to Philly, I've been to all these different places as me. I've been out for 2 years now, and of course, this Hazleton, good old old-fashioned Hazleton, which is still stuck in the 1950s, is the only place that we get harassed in. So I guess that's just the way that goes. Went to the dance, and they have a live band. This is in Freeland now. A lot of people, there was a lot of people there. Older people dressed up in uniforms, some young people. I love just swing dance. It's my favorite thing. I love that music. I love, like, Glenn Miller, and, you know, I realize all this music is, like, you know, some 60 years before I was born, but it's fun. I just like to do it. So, I was sort of asked to dance. This guy came over, and he kind of asked my friend Chelsea. Both of my friends are named Chelsea. They came over, and they were asking the Chelseas if they wanted to dance, and Chelsea smiled, said no, she didn't want to dance. So she said, you know, Dee would like to dance, you know, and I was like, yeah, cool, let's dance. And he's like, oh, okay. And I don't know, it just kind of like felt like I was a consolation prize. Like, he wanted them, but they didn't want to dance with him, so he asked me instead, which was, it is what it is, again with that damn statement. But we danced. I can't remember how to do any of the steps. It's sad. Tried to do like twists and spins and stuff. But you know, he enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I don't. And then we switched partners. The thing is, I don't know if he was clocking me. I don't know if I was getting red at that point. But I decided to play it safe. After what had happened earlier that afternoon, I decided to just, take it off and, well, just take off and take it easy, because I didn't want to, like, push my luck and have this guy, like, freak out on me or yell at me. Who knows if he knew, who knows if he, realized what was going on. But I had a good time, and then we went home. So, Sunday. Like I said, and my girlfriend had bought a used bike from the Goodwill, and she spent most of the morning fixing it up. Turns out it's in relatively good shape. There's, she cleaned out the wheels, she re-greased them, she's working on the chain. The chain looks like it's going to definitely need to be replaced. The cassette probably needs to be really replaced. Whatever, right? We went out for a bike ride, and we had a blast. We did a 14-mile loop. Like I said, I like to go around the dike, which is right back here. The dikes on dikes, right? Ride along the dike, and then I go up Route 11, and we go over towards Pierce Street Bridge. We get back on the dike over on the other side of the river, across Pierce Street, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Good times. Her bike worked great. We had a really good time. She's really happy with her purchase. She's going to get it. She doesn't want to get it. She wants to get it restored. She doesn't want to, like, totally do anything to it. She wants it as original as possible, as back to its original condition as possible, which is cool. Came home and we chilled out for a bit. We watched, actually Saturday night we had watched. I still haven't seen Matrix Revolutions, the third movie in the trilogy, so I never saw how it ended. So I finally got to see how it ends, and it was okay. I mean, it wasn't as spectacular as the first one, it wasn't as bad as the second one, but it was just kind of like very light on the philosophy, very light on, the stuff that made the first Matrix cool. I don't need to go into that. Everybody knows when, the third Matrix movie was just okay. It finished the story, which is what I wanted. So Sunday we watched the first Matrix, just to remind ourselves of what made these movies so good. And it just instantly took me back to 1999, back to when I first saw those movies, back when I first watched that movie, and just kind of brought back the memories of, having been out of high school for about a year and a half, having run around with my ex-girlfriend who had recently come out of the closet, and during our discussions I tried to come out of the closet as a trans woman. And back in the 90s we didn't really have words for that. I really didn't know what that meant, even if I had, and I was too really ashamed of it to even admit it. But I tried to explain it to her, and the way that I felt and who I felt that I was supposed to be inside. And I've told this story like 100 times now, and it just wasn't the right time then. Not for me. I wasn't strong enough to do it. I didn't feel like the world was ready for us. I mean, here it is 2016, and we're being yelled at in a public restroom by some random, guy who didn't even have the guts to stick around and allow us to rebut his statements. So you can imagine that in 1999, I just did not feel it was the time to do that. It just wasn't the time to come out. Well, I was kind of getting emotional, and I decided it's best if I don't go down that path of talking about why I didn't transition back in the 90s. I think it's pretty self-apparent. Just wasn't the right time. But then my iPad complained that it's too hot. Sitting out in the sun, apparently it was just too much for it, so I'm sitting in the shade, letting it cool down while I record the last of this video. I just kind of like want to wrap it up. I basically just wanted to get to the point that, I wish I hadn't waited until I was 35 to transition. I feel like I lost a lot. I lost a lot of hair. Not happy about that. I feel like if I would have transitioned in, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I probably would have avoided a lot of problems that I've had to overcome in the last 2.5 years, last 2 years, to be who I am, to get to this point. And like I said, there's still a ways to go, especially when you consider the fact that there are so many people out there who still hate us, who still don't understand us, who still want to hurt us. And that's nerve-wracking and scary, but at the same time, we have to get over it. We just have to deal with it and be better than that, and respond to hate with love, because that's pretty much the only thing that's gonna fix this world, this broken world. Other than that, in closing, I don't really know what else to say. 1999 was such a different time. I miss those days, and I think maybe it's just a thing with aging that you miss your youth. You miss the days when it felt like the whole future was was right in front of you, and anything was possible. Maybe it's just me. I doubt that it's just me. But at the same time, I feel like, I'm dealing with it. I'm living my life to the fullest that I can. I'm working really hard to get the things that I want, the things I need, and I'm dealing with some temporary setbacks. But at the same time, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not stopping. I'm not done yet. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm going to just keep working as hard as I can, and I'm going to keep working as hard as I can to change the world for other people, to make sure that other people, other trans folks, can live their lives to the fullest as their authentic self. That's what the whole idea is. To leave the world in a little better place than we found it. To leave the world in a much better shape than when we found it. I don't know. Anyway, to leave the world in a better condition than when we found it. That's the point of life, I think. Love each other, help each other, get things done, and fix what's wrong. I should have threw this gum out before I started these videos. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, that's it for me today. Look forward to the guitar video that I'm going to be uploading later than this, or whatever. Time is irrelevant. That's it for today. Have a great day. Bye, YouTube.